What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Premier League Career Mode. It is episode number 37. You know what time it is. It's Sloggy Season Part 1 today. So much to get through, man. We've got match days 1, 2 and 3 of the Champions League group stage, where we've been drawing against LASK, Atalanta and Villarreal. To be fair, the latter two are now 5-star teams, but I still think personally we should be targeting top spot. We'll have the EFL Cup third round at home to Notts County, where we should be, touch wood, fingers crossed, progressing to the last 16 with minimal fuss and more big games in the Premier League. We're starting the season off. Oh my goodness, deja vu and then some. Just like the past 2 years, flying out the blocks, 5 wins from 5. Question is, can we maintain it? So yeah, loads to get through. We're cracking straight on. Our first game today is indeed the Austrians, LASK at home in match day 1 Champions League group stage. Last year got to the quarterfinals for being beaten by the eventual winners Spurs. Heading into this season, definitely like last year, targeting top spot. Let's start off with a win in West London. Come on for me. I often get drawn against LASK or Sturm Graz from Austria, but very rarely Salzburg. Strange. Very strange. Very rarely do I get Salzburg in my European draws. But yeah, LASK and, oh, Sarah, what a miss. Sturm Graz quite often. And I mentioned before, man, LASK from the beautiful city of Linz. I'm not a massive travel person. I've only been to 2 other countries than England in the past 10 years, I think. But yeah, Linz is definitely up there as a place that I really want to visit one day. Gorgeous. Come on, let's get that opening goal, shall we? It's one of those games where like we're not under any pressure or anything, but just not playing with intensity. That's better. Lovely move that though, and Tice ain't gonna miss. Tice ain't gonna miss. Bangs in the open. It was coming. It was coming. It's games like this where it's like, all it really takes is one. Do you know what I mean? Once you've got that goal, you're going to be quite confident of seeing it out from there. But the longer it goes on until you get it, the more you start to worry a little bit. It'll just never come. When it does come, though, that's when you know you got it. And that's why when you go into a game as a big favourite, you want to get the goal early. You know, it relieves a lot of pressure when you do that. Oh, as Lance Knight has to get down low to his left-hand side there. And you can try and build on it, but if you recede into yourselves, well, it does make things a little bit nervy as Lance makes the save there, and again, claims it and says, guys, let's just calm it down a little bit here, yeah? Kind of shades of England versus Serbia last night. Got the goal in the first half through Jude, and then, yeah, a little bit nervy towards the end. Cautious football from Gareth Southgate. Can't expect anything different nowadays, but even so. As Mason finds Dalinga. Unlike Southgate's England last night, we're going to go 2-0 up. And that will settle all the nerves. We won't have any late scares. We're making sure this game is ours. And a win on the group opener. Come on. For the record, I like Gareth Southgate. And unless we absolutely tank the Euros. Say we get to the Final 4. Or the final. Preferably the latter. I would like to see him stay on. I know everyone's been saying he'll go unless they win. Personally, if we get to the final, second final appearance in back-to-back Euros, I'd want him to stay on, personally. All I'm thinking about are the days of Steve McLaren. I'm thinking, be careful what you wish for. Even so, we were wishing for a win on match day 1. We've got it. Tice Dalinga with a brace, Jamie with our third, and it is the perfect start to our Champions League group. Yeah, I said when it was drawn, I feel confident. Villarreal and Atalanta, I do feel causes a bit of a problem, but I'm still targeting top spot for sure. Do see after the game as well, Harvey Elliott, that suspension bug is now being cleared, so that means he won't have any fitness problems between now and the end of the season. Thank goodness for that. EA have really got to fix it, it's so annoying. Right, following game, one thing we don't need to fix right now is our form, so fingers crossed, touch wood, we can extend it here, going for our 6th win on the trot to start our Premier League campaign off. Not an easy one, but here in West London, Liverpool at home, looking to keep this fantastic, perfect start to the season going. Let's continue our form. Come on, Fulham. Yeah, it's such an annoying bug, that one, because we've got unlucky with the fact that we're playing in Europe this year. But if you watched my my realistic career mode earlier this year with Bournemouth and then spoilers moving on to Liverpool, you'll remember during that save, Ibrahim Konate was suspended. And we couldn't clear it for an entire year because the first year we were at Anfield, we weren't in Europe, so we couldn't clear that suspension bug. So for the whole year, Konate was basically off limits. Like I think we played like 7 times for the year, as Gabriel Sara flops his lines and pops it just wide. Because we couldn't clear the bug. So for the whole year, he was on like 40% fitness, and we just couldn't play the guy. So it was just so annoying. It's one of those where it's like, how hard would it be for EA to clear that bug? Because I don't remember it being in previous FIFAs, in previous FCs. I've only ever had it this year, and I've had it twice now. Fulham, 7 to go in the first half. Still dead up to 0-0. Games where, you know, I often say this, there's a part in an RTG where your mentality shifts as Delinga heads down and Raum clears away. Back in the first two seasons, we would have taken a point in this game and be glad to have got it. But now we head into this game feeling like we need to win it, you know. Points not disastrous, but it's disappointing, especially being at home and in the form we're in. It's always such a cool feeling in an RTG where you go from being like, oh, please just let me have the goalless draw, to, God, we've got to win this, you know. It's always such a cool feeling when you know you've reached that level now. You're one of the big boys now. On merit. As Harvey Elliott takes it on, push behind for a corner, and we're still deadlocked here. But yep, point in this game, not the worst result in the world, but a disappointing one. We've reached that level now. Process for them was a long time ago. We're one of the big boys now. I think we might just have to take a point here. I haven't really had the chances in the second half. Liverpool's defence, to be fair, has been really tight. Played some good football in the second half as well, and they've got in front too. What a wonderful goal that is. You know, sometimes you've got to say fair play. Like, seriously, fair play. That is a wonderful little constructed pass and move. And Salah with the finish. 15 minutes separating us and our first loss of the season. Yeah, back in the first 2 years, we would have expected this sort of result. Oh, ball. Come on. Now it will be considered disappointing. And even this won't be great either, but at least we'll stay undefeated. Pablo Torre to the rescue. Fulham with a late leveller. Game springing into life in the final 20. Both teams pushing for a winner. Fair play, respect that. But I think it's probably... Oh, no. Oh, what a bottle. What a bottle. Oh, Knight to the rescue. Lance Knight bailing me out. Stays on his line. Bassi gets it up in the air. And Torre wins. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Oh, ref, come on. How often do I say this? They're well within their rights to play full time. The fans aren't happy and neither am I. Are you kidding me? There was a great chance for a 4-on-4 breakaway there, man. I say this all the time. I hate to be that conspiracy theorist, tinfoil hat kind of person, but if the shoe's on the other foot, I guarantee the ref lets play continue there. Honestly. Right, next up should be a banker, so let's get through this one quite quickly. EFL Cup third round, able to bounce back here with the fourth tier Notts County coming to Craven Cottage. Simple win, please, and no one getting injured. Come on, Fulham. So, the player I highlighted pre-game, by the way, John Bostock. Interesting player. Interesting career. And at one point, I must say, in his very early days with Spurs, he showed a lot, and I mean an awful lot of promise, and whilst it didn't really work out for the guy, as Morrissey fires in his first goal for us. I don't know why, but he's one of those players from that generation who I always have a bit of a soft spot for. I can't really describe it. He's a very faithful man. God plays a big part in his life. But just in general, his attitude has always been quite positive, despite the fact he's never lived up to the hype. And you could say he's fallen quite a lot. He tried so many different things, you know, going out on loan, testing himself in foreign countries, and it may never have worked out. It wasn't for the want of trying. And those are the sort of players that I always respect. Yeah, he runs one of my favourite Instagram pages, which is Ballers in God. And faith has played a big part in his life throughout his career, but also, like I said, as a guy, I just respect the willingness to try different things. You know, he was a young man, actually came through the Palace Academy, I believe, before moving on to Spurs. But what a ball, Brian Heel, and Hayden Hackney makes it too. He literally went to Spurs, but he never really kicked on and broke through at Spurs. So what did he do? He had several loan spells. Then when he left the club, he went to Belgium, I believe, straight afterwards. He played in France, he played in Turkey. I'm pretty sure he played in a couple of other countries as well. He literally just did everything he could to try and reinvent himself. Position changes, again, playing in different countries, testing himself in new environments. And despite that, he stayed positive throughout. and just continue to push towards his own individual goals. And there's something about players like that I just absolutely love. The willingness to reinvent themselves time after time after time again and remain positive throughout. I have so much respect for players like that, honestly. Well, it is exactly what we were looking for tonight. Comfortable 2-0 victory, all my starters rested, and no one getting injured as well. Back to winning ways, but exactly what we were expecting anyway. Let's see what we got in the fourth round. I said before, like, even though it doesn't count towards your objectives, which it should, in my opinion. I don't know why EA don't have the Carabao Cup as an objective. I understand for, like, the biggest of the biggest, it may not be cared about as much as for other teams. But for a team like ours, the League Cup should still have an objective. But we got in the fourth round, fingers crossed, another EFL side at home. No, it's Southampton away. But to be fair, they are still a challenger side in the last 16. Even so, good chance to remain in the quarterfinals. Bring on the Saints. Right, following game, back to matters in the Premier League. Still unbeaten in our first 6 games. Still top, but aiming to get back to winning ways here. Right now, 4 clear of Wolves. West Ham away at the London Stadium. Always a good game for me, West Ham away. Bring them on. Come on, Fulham. West Ham away is always a fun fixture for me. Like, it generally, normally... Oh, that's so unlucky. Has a few goals in it, and it's taken just 9 minutes for the first, and it's West Ham's number 9 with the open. That is so unlucky though, but how many times do I say this? One of the reasons why the AI and Ultimate is such a difficult game to play. Deflections, blocks, they often ricochet back to the opponent, but also, if you don't react within a split second, the ball is robbed off your feet. Drops to Calvin Bassey, didn't react quickly enough. Ball's off me, and it's in the back of the net. You've got to be so quick on this difficulty to prevent a goal going in from close range. 1-0 down, 9 minutes in, but won't be the only goal today for sure. These games are always full of goals for me. Ooh, possibly as a broken to over Harvey as well. That was a bad, well, I say a bad foul, not a great tackle. I think that is probably going to be a 3-month injury for Harvey there. First of the year, we knew it was going to come at some point, and there it is. Let's go. Tice go right. Oh, wonderfully done. Go on, finish that, son. Every day of the week, Mr. Teistlinger. Cracking finish. 1-1. Tell you what, man, I said this before, like we didn't need to win anything last year to keep him here. In the end, we did win that FA Cup, but it was just making sure he stayed in the Champions League. Honestly, Gabriel Sara is so important to us. Pablo Torre becoming more and more important. Captain Calvin Bassey. Jamie on the right. But Teistlinger, this dude is just a level above in this team. He's just that good. If he's not in the team, I never feel confident of getting a result. There's Jamie. Goes all the way. Pegs it back. Torre, great save by Balo. And Elliott keeps the chance alive. In goes to cross, headed away. And back to Pablo. Easy save. Delinga is just that good. I mean, his hold-up play is exceptional. Again, don't forget, obviously last year after winning the Player of the Season, part of the reason why was because of the fact that he also... wonderful dribbling from Sara. He was also second in assists, only to this man, Gabriel Sara. Wonderful dribbling, full and flipped the script. I told you the games against West Ham away are always good. We've seen 3 goals in 40 minutes. Yep, you've got your bogey teams, you've got your teams that you just always have a fun game against. Go on, Jamie, smash that, son. Good stop by Justin Balo. But, yeah, Brentford will always be our bogey team. West Ham away is always the fun game, you know. Always so enjoyable to play. Goals galore, chances everywhere. And even after scoring 3 goals in the first half, I still think there's more to come here. As Sara bends one just over the bar. Fernando goes still leading by 1. Get a third goal and that'll all but do it. As Nathan is sent through. Oh, wonderful touch. Offloads. Jamie for the dagger. That will indeed do it. Back to winning ways in the league. With a 3-1 scoreline away in London. Jamie with the finish. If we take on Brentford, we expect to lose. If we take on West Ham, we don't always expect to win, but we know it's going to be an absolute goal glut. So many chances. And in the end, 4 goals in the afternoon, probably could have been more. We'll take it. Fell behind early, but showed that resilience we discussed in the last episode. Coming from behind to win 3-1 and staying top and undefeated as well. I'm trying not to get too far ahead of myself, just like the past 2 years, flying out the blocks, and you love to see it. The only real negative was the injury to Harvey Elliott. Yep, classic career mode broken toe. You can't avoid it, man. You cannot avoid getting at least one, possibly two broken toes minimum during a season. Harvey, the unlucky man to get the first of this year. Right, following game, match day 2, Champions League group stage. Atalanta away, obviously the only team to have beaten Bayer Leverkusen last season on their way to winning that Europa League final. No Adamola Lookman in the team, but to be fair, whilst I said with this group we should be targeting top spot, this is a really good team. Khan and Setchi between the sticks. Aymeric Laporte, Timber and Ake work at the back line. Javi Guerra is there. And the top two of Joshua Zirkzee and Vahi. This is not going to be a formality. I'll probably take a point here in Italy. Come on, Fulham. Yeah, this is a good Atalanta team, man. 5-star in its own right. Go on, Mason, keep going. But the only thing that hurts them really, and I've mentioned this before, is like for me... Oh, Nathan off the post. Back threes are reasonably easy to play against. If you've got quick wingers, and most players do nowadays, it's quite simple to get inside from the flanks and stepping in. Danilo has his shot blocked. And it'll drop behind for a corner. So going forward, slightly concerned, especially that strike partnership with Zirkzee and Wahi. That's good. But the back three, yeah, we should be able to stretch that out and find some openings, cutting in from the flank and then into the middle. Yeah, I have no doubt we'll get a goal tonight, but it's at the back where I'm more concerned. Zirkzee does indeed fire in the opener. This is a really good team, man. And again, that top two of Zirkzee and Wahi, one of them was going to get a goal, and in the end it is Joshua. Okay, alright. Well, I said when the group was drawn I felt confident, but if we lose match day 2, this is going to be tough to come back from. Make it quick. Down the flank. There we go, there we go, there we go. But again, this is what's going to serve us well. Going down the flank, stepping inside, and finishing like that. The Lingua, the instant response. So the reason why back threes are quite easy to play against is because the wide midfielders don't double up as wing backs like you would expect. Instead, they just continue to stay forward and play like wingers, you know, but not contributing much on defense. And so if you can go down the flanks, it forces the RCB or the LCB, depending on what side you're on, to step out even further, and that leaves just a 1CB in the middle trying to deal with like 2 or 3 players, unless he's got a teammate coming across to help him out. And so it's like I said, it's what makes it quite easy, I guess. Look at the space here. Look at the space down this flank right here, and this is the problem for me. It's what EA need to really work on. There's nothing wrong with back threes in real life, but in FC, especially for an AI team and the way that the teams get built as well, they're so easy to play against. All you got to do is just continuously go down that wing, drag over the RCB and the LCB out, and that winger is not doubling up as a wing back. He's so far up the other end of the pitch, he's not even involved in the equation. There wouldn't really be anything wrong with a back three if the wingers would just contribute on defense. We see Rodri bombing forward here. Look at the space that allows down this right hand side here. And then if we work it into the middle, look at the space there as well. Because there's just too much room. You know, too much room to exploit. And in the end, it's going to be a very simple goal when passing out from the back. It's just too easy to drag opposition defenders out of their position because there's not enough cover from that midfield 4 or 5, depending on what formation they're playing, to help out the back three. The back three are going to get stretched so thin like cling film. It's only a matter of time before it rips apart, you know. And in this case, very, very simple indeed. If you play against a back three, just keep moving the ball around. Eventually, players are going to get dragged out of position, and there's so much space in behind. Oh, what a finish that is, though. What a finish. And, well, like I said, I felt confident we'd score quite a few goals tonight. But going forward, this Atalanta team has got some players, man. 3-2, 5 minutes to cling on. And to be fair, I think we will. I think we'll be alright here. Yep, just like against West Ham, I had to come from behind to win it, but win we do. Really, had I wanted to, probably could have exploited that system even more and scored more. In the end, 3 was enough. 3 was enough, but to be fair, going forward did cause some problems, but a third of the way through the group, back-to-back wins. I said it when it was drawn, won't be easy, but targeting top spot as things stand, that's how it's looking here. Back to matters in the league, back home in West London for a West London derby, the top 2 meeting, Chelsea at home, flying out the blocks with 6 wins in 7, but, you know, they'd love to be the guys to beat us for the first time this season and get their revenge after we beat them in the FA Cup final last year. Chelsea at the Cottage, come on, Fulham. Quick little attack there. Oh my goodness gracious me, that happened so quickly. Edison, the ex-Atalanta man, has just put Chelsea in front, but wow, that happened quick. Just the incisiveness of the passing and then the finish as Calvin comes across. There are some goals where you just think to yourself, yeah, I don't know much more what I could have done there. Wow, that was quick. Man, oh man, come on. It's our first half this. And just haven't been at the races. 3rd game in a row. Go on, Torre. Oh, good stop by Bolka. We've got to come from behind to get something. I'm sorry, man, but you can't keep starting off games like this and expect to stay undefeated. At some point you'll get found out. You've got to begin games better. It's been my big problem. Just stumbling out of the blocks. And yeah, we've got the quality to turn it around, but not every game. You can't do it every single time. Need that leveller. At the moment, she's not forthcoming. Just can't get that goal. To think we're in our 5th season with a 5-star Fulham team. Just won the FA Cup. 2nd year in a row in the Champions League. And yet we're still not the biggest club in our local area. Oh my word, seriously. Love an RTG, but this is just so difficult, honestly. And I'm saying that, like, we're not top of the table right now. But, come on. Oh, Bolka with the save. It is a slog with this Fulham team, man. We're getting there. We are. But man, this is a tough one, seriously. And it just took so much out of us to win 1 FA Cup, you know? What is it going to take for us to win Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues as well? This man staying fit for 1, but Bolka once again with another fine save. Man, he has been on it. He's such a good young goalkeeper, to be fair, in this year's FC, but he has made save after save this afternoon. I literally just can't beat him. He's been unbeatable, quite literally. Yeah, even after beating Chelsea in the FA Cup final last year, it is abundantly clear that we are still a notch below them. Not just in terms of reputation, but I think ability as well. Yeah, last year they finished mid-table, but they're still a better team than ours. Fofana with the dagger. Our first loss all season long comes in a West London derby. Not one person is surprised. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Not the biggest club in Europe. Not the biggest club in England. Not the biggest club in London. Not even the biggest club in West London. I don't know what it's going to take, I really don't. I really wish EA would keep past results between teams available to view, because I'd love to see just how bad our record is in West London derbies. Not just against Chelsea, but against Brentford as well. I think we faced QPR once in the cup, but we got a horrendous record against Brentford and Chelsea, and the latter have now cut the gap to 2 points. Following game, Wolves away. Our first loss of the season coming at home, aiming to keep our unbeaten away start going with a win here at Molineux. Come on, Fulham. Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like sibling rivalry when the younger brother starts to get a little bit of success. You know, they've got their first job outside of uni. You know, they've started to develop a little bit in their personal life. You know, considering putting a down payment down on their first home, and then they go back home for Christmas, and then the big brother slaps them back down to earth with a dose of reality, reminding them that they're still not at that level. And they never will be. But one day we'll take out our big brother. Delinga with the header, Fulham in front. Don't get me wrong, I do think it's always important to have someone to try and chase after, try and reach the level of. In fact, Matthew McConaughey has this amazing speech after he won the Oscars, and I'll try and remember to leave a link to it in the description. Great dribbling by Nathan, and Torre gets our second. But he talks about how he always chases after his hero, and his hero is him in 10 years. So at 15, he's chasing after the person he wants to be at 25. When he gets to 25, he's then chasing after the person he wants to be at 35. It's an amazing speech, and I'll try and remember to leave a link to it in the description. But I'm not in the camp that you need to have an enemy. I don't believe that anyone needs an enemy or a rival to try and better, you know, someone to try and beat like that. But a bit of friendly competition between people, and sometimes between you and the person you want to be and the person you once were, is always a good thing to motivate, you know. Even so, Fulham tuning up in the perfect response here at Molyneux. These 3 points seem in the bag already. Yeah, I think about that all the time. Like, to me, remind yourself of where you were and where you are now. And if you do like the equation of how much time has passed from, you know, the person you were then that you're thinking of to the person you are now, think about the person you could be in the same length of time, but moving forward. So imagine yourself 4 years ago compared to where you are now. And in the same length of time, 4 years into the future, imagine where you could be. And try and figure the ways you can get to that level, and possibly even better than you think you can get to in 4 years. Just a great exercise. Oh, Stanciu hits the bar. To try and give you a bit of motivation, you know. Where you once were, to where you are now, to where you want to get to. Calvin, going for it. Oh! Come on, man. We are so close to doing it. I think I've hit the bar 3 or 4 times now in this year's FC. I've said it before and I've said it again. I know we're going to do it. I just know it. Off the top of the crossbar. Keeper's beating all ends up there. Calvin Bassey so close to writing himself into Docks folklore. Almost a new Nathaniel Klein. So close. I bet it's going to happen when I least expect it though. Do you know what I mean? It's such a cliche. It's like when people talk about, you know, those that are chronically single, myself included, and they're like, oh, it happened when you least expect it. It's kind of like the halfway line goal attempts, you know. It probably will happen that way, genuinely. Like, I'll start to recede into myself. I'll only try them once in a few games every now and then bang, it will just happen, you know. It will just sail in gradually. Oh dear, so close. Right, let's do a couple more. We'll try and end today's episode on a nice run. Come on, Fulham. Yeah, let's do 2 more and end on a run of 3 straight wins. I'm calling it now. Got the first, now let's get the second. Following game, match day 3 of Champions League group stage. Villarreal at home. Win this, and it'll be 9 points from 9. Top and 100% at the halfway stage. That's all I'm thinking of now as we aim to finish strong in the first half of the group stage. Come on, Fulham. And I did just see pre-game that Stanciu has hit 90 overall. And I often talk about this, milestones within an RTG. You know, your first player on 100 grand a week, your first major honour, but also the first player you have in your team gets a 90 overall. And it's fitting that it is Stanciu. Man, I said earlier, like, where will we be without this guy? What player has had the same impact as him? No one. It's not even close as Lance makes a good save there to keep it at 0-0. Really struggling in this game though, seriously. Could do with that 90 rated player turning up right now because I'm struggling here. Yep, flew out the blocks, but once again, deja vu. Deja vu. Heading into October and struggling to maintain the electrifying start. Done it again, 3rd straight year. But Stanciu says no, not gonna let it happen. Oh, Tice. I'm saying it now, man. Biggest legend to save, and it's not even close. Yep, every save I do, there's always one player that stands out from the rest as the biggest legend. First I thought it would be Nathan, then I thought it would be Carvalho, and then I thought it would be Lance. And whilst the latter is still worth his weight in gold, Tice is worth his weight in platinum. I know what that means. But even so, his goal sees us scrape through the 1-0 win, and it is indeed 100% at the halfway stage. Man, Dalinga, man, he's just unplayable. Yes, we made 2 big signings in the summer, but I think the biggest signing of the season is going to be this guy signing a new contract. So I'm going to give him one in the next episode. 10 goals in 13. There might only be 5 in 9, I say only, but it's in Europe right now where he's excelling. 4 goals in 3, and we would not be 100% without Dalinga. I mean, that is obvious. Unreal stats, though. 98 finishing, 96 ball control, 97 heading. What an absolute dominator this guy is. Right, final game today. Let's end on this one. Matchday 10 in the Premier League. Leicester at home right now. 3 clear of Spurs in second. Let's aim to stay that way and possibly pull further clear as we try and get our 3rd win in a row in all competitions. Come on, Fulham. So you might notice pre-game that you got Ben Chilwell back at Leicester in this game here. And I've noticed that this year. We're seeing more and more nowadays players going back to their former clubs. But also, I must say, in CM this year, I'm noticing a lot more, players either leaving within a save and then going back, or just going back to a former team they used to play for in real life. And fair play to EA for that. I said before, like the transfer market, we know it needs some work. There's no denying that, as Sarah should have scored the opener, but I often say this, I am quite fair with EA. I'll criticise when they deserve criticism, which is, let's be honest, a lot of the time. But sometimes they do get things right. And the transfer market, it's still not great. It still needs a lot of work. But you have to give them some credit. It certainly has improved. No doubt about that. But Tice Dalinga, man, this is ridiculous. I tell you, in terms of transfers, he's going nowhere ever. Dalinga is just unstoppable. I think it was the last episode, or maybe the episode before that, I briefly discussed it. But for those who didn't play FIFA CM back then, well, let's just say those that did will know exactly what I'm talking about here with the lopsidedness of certain teams. With like 8 world-class strikers. And you might think I'm exaggerating. I'm not. I'm really, really not. These are the days when, like, literally Bayern would have Benzema and Lewandowski and Suarez all within the same save, but, like, only one of them would play. And it was just, like... But then you look at their team and they've only got 1 centre-half. And it's like, what is going on here? So, like I said, it has improved. It has improved a lot. And sometimes I feel like I can be a little too overcritical of EA. But, like I said, I do try and be very fair with it. It still does need some work, but it has gotten better. The loss to Chelsea may have hurt, but how often do I say it? When you've had a defeat, you just need to learn those lessons, pick yourself up and move on to the next one. The Blues may have the bragging right to still be in the best club in West London. They're still our big brother, but right now, we're 7 clear of them. Top of the table, looking like the best team in England and still top of the table. That's the response we wanted. But that'll do it for today's episode of the Premier League Career, guys. So big thank you for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do drop a like. Myself, you all have a fantastic day. I'll return in the next one with more big games in the Premier League, aiming to pull away from the chasing pack right now in pole position. The EFL Cup last 16 away against the Championship side Southampton at St Mary's, and match days 4, 5 and 6 of Champions League group stage, aiming to qualify top of the group just like last season. Have a great day, much love, and I'll see you for the next episode very soon.